Hello, what's going on? Happy New Year's to all Reds fans out there. I'm back with another player analysis video. Today we're going to be taking a look at FRANCK KESSIE, the AC Milan player who's been linked a few times to Liverpool. So let's learn more about him. Who is he? What's his playing style like? And also, how does he stack up against the rest of the Liverpool squad? Let's not waste any time. Get right into the video. Alright, time to dive deep into FRANCK KESSIE. He wears number 79 for AC Milan, 25 years of age only. He turned 25 less than a month ago, so happy birthday to him as well. 183 centimeters tall. Preferred playing position is that central midfield role, a deeper central midfield role, so you could say almost a defensive midfielder. We're going to take a look at his positions played later as well. He's from the Ivory Coast, and he's part of the Africa Cup of Nations team. Scroll down a bit here. Look at the stats from the 2021 to 2022 season. Again, if you want to look at other seasons, you can check that out on Transfer Market. The club he plays for, AC Milan. He's made 21 appearances for them so far this campaign, 16 in the Serie A and 5 more in the Champions League. Scored 5 goals actually in the Serie A and 1 assist to add on from that Champions League performance against Atletico Madrid. Now, talking about Champions League, he did play the full 90 in both games at home against Liverpool and also away against Liverpool on match day 1 for Serie A. You love to see this, is that he's played 90 minutes consistently. If it wasn't for getting sick, he would have played probably, 7 games in a row. If you see here, usually features as the defensive midfield role and also has played a few times as the center midfield and also the attacking midfield. You look at the national team career, he's played multiple times for the Ivory Coast team, featured since the U17 team actually, and then missed out a bit with the U20, U23, but glad he's back again in the national team setup and also featured in the Olympics last summer. So good for him there. Performance by competition, you look at this, I'm all over the place, but you look at this over here, he's played at the lower leagues as well. He's 25 years of age, but 189 appearances in the Serie A already. That's a lot of experience for a 25-year-old player. Usually, they talk about developing and not reaching the peak ability until you're 28, 29, but I think he's reaching his peak very, very soon. So 189 games already, so he's probably going to be over 200 by the time he turns 26. Stats by club, again, predominantly for AC Milan, also for Casena and Atalanta. Played around, earned his way up to one of the top teams in Serie A right now. AC Milan is in second place there. Look at the positions played. Defensive midfield, he's played 14 games for them in this role. So you can almost say he is a defensive midfielder who likes to get forward. He's played 5 games at the central midfield position and also 2 games as the attacking midfielder. Imagine him, unlocking those through passes in the attacking phase of play. So again, very versatile, can play multiple positions, but he would prefer to sit deeper and be that defensive midfield role. Cool, we're gonna shift over now to FBref. Again, this is the website for more of the in-depth stuff. Talks about everything from non-penalty expected goals all the way to aerial duels won. But before we get to that, again, he's right-footed. 80% of the time he uses that stronger foot. Again, we talked about the height, 183 centimeters, 76 kilograms, date of birth, nationality, where he's playing from. Check out his Instagram as well if you're into that player social media stuff. But now, looking at the scouting report, we see that, okay, what jumps out to me right away is this number right here. Touches in attacking penalty area. This is the touches that you have in the opposing team's penalty area. So it shows how much a player gets forward. Look at that, 91 percentile. So per 90, 2.67. And you compare that with other players who have very good stats on this. So Bernardo Silva is super high. That's 5.28 per 90, which means he's always lurking around the opponent's penalty box, and then low would be Marvelous Nakamba, who's more of a defensive guy, doesn't go forward. But look, Frank Kessie, for a player that doesn't usually go forward a lot, a position like a defensive midfield role that doesn't expect the attack all the time, that's very impressive there at 2.67. So shows what he's all about. He's not afraid to bomb forward, join the attacking phase of play. Pass completion percentage, also fantastic stats there for a defensive midfielder. Shows that he's got that capability to string a few passes together, and he's also got that accuracy to play the ball as well. Love to see that. Would definitely fit in with Jurgen Klopp's style. Other numbers that do well, progressive passes received. Again, these are passes going forward, 10 yards or more. Kevin De Bruyne, super talented at that. Again, Frank Kessie above the average. That's what we like to see. Shot creating actions, offensive actions leading to a shot, or passes, drawing fouls, all that stuff. Great stuff. 82nd percentile, above average. Like to see that again. Some middle of the pack stats, we see assists, could improve there as well. Progressive passes still can improve there. Not so good is the pressures and tackles. And as a defensive midfielder, you'll expect, it's expected of you to be able to do that defensive duties. Interceptions, again, still low. He does block a very high number of shots, averages 2 blocks per 90. But again, you look at the pressures and the tackles, how many times he applies pressure towards the opponents, and also the number of tackles he gets in. Very low numbers, surprisingly, for a defensive midfielder. Maybe it has to do with the Serie A. He might be told to, sit back a bit deeper, do the blocking stuff, and do all of that instead of being the one who goes after players, goes to tackle, goes to pressure. Maybe that's for the players ahead of him, in front of him, maybe the more of the central midfielder, the attacking midfielder role to start the press. But I mean, as long as he gets his body in the way correctly, it's fine. But I like to see these numbers go up a bit more. We're going to shift over now to using the stats from FBref, the ones that we just looked at, and comparing them with the likes of Thiago, Henderson, Milner, and Fabinho. So again, Thiago, Henderson, Milner, all three of them are 30 years or older. Fabinho, who's 28, and Kessie, again, 25 years of age. Young player, so you'd expect his stats not to be as great as these other members of the Liverpool first team squad who regularly play and have got a lot of experience under their belt. But when you're comparing these numbers with the likes of the regular players, he actually does very well. He stacks up around middle of the pack and upper in some of the categories as well. We look at the keys here. Again, green is good. So the darker green, the better it is, the higher it is compared to the other players. And then darker red, like this one here for Fabinho, not good. So Kessie, where does he stack up against all these guys? Well, there's a bit of every color. There's some white, there's some green, there's some, dark red, lighter green. So a bit of everything for him. We look at what he's fantastic at. Pass completion percentage, middle of the pack right there compared to these guys. So he's got very good competition around him. Dribbles completed, touches in the attacking penalty area. This is his strong point over here. And he leads everybody else when comparing with them. So again, it shows that as a defensive midfielder, he's not afraid to go forward into the opponent's area, create some chaos there. We like to see it. So other than the defensive duties that he has to do, given where he's playing, he can also chip in and be a big contributor in front of goal. Now, dribbles completed, like to see that again. He's not afraid to drive with the ball. Some areas of concern though: passes attempted, he's the lowest compared to the other members of the Liverpool team. So he has that ability to drive forward and create chaos in the attacking phase of play. If he can improve his passing attempts, his pass completion percentage is there. He can complete those passes. If he attempts more passes in each game, definitely that's an area that will make him a more complete player. And again, aggressive passes, those passes going forward, those passes going more than 10 yards. Again, Thiago is fantastic at this. Henderson right in the middle of the pack at that. And yeah, we look at the pressures and tackles. Again, these two numbers surprisingly low for a defensive midfielder. Maybe he's not pressing enough. Maybe he's been told to maybe sit back deeper, do the blocks, get his body in front of, in between the ball and the goal instead. And interception numbers, I think these three will improve. These three numbers, pressures, tackles, and interceptions per 90 will definitely improve if he fits into the Jurgen Klopp system is what I'm trying to say. So definitely it's an area that he should look to better his game at. And again, his contract runs out in June of this year, so June of 2022. By the end of June, he will be completely a free agent. So look, Liverpool could get him on a free transfer. That could spice things up maybe for the midfield come next season. But that's it for the overall stats of Franck Kessie. Like him, don't like him, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for checking out this video.